I guess the real statement is if we're actually live.
I can hear you.
Testing 1 2. Yeah, so I think we're technically officially multi-streaming on 3 different platforms. Is what it feels like. We are doing it successfully, or attempting to do it successfully. I am going to click my face to make sure it tracks me. There we go. Anyway, hopefully we're multi-streaming on 3 different platforms. Question is, am I going to get chat from all 3 different platforms? I'm not really sure. We'll have to see how that goes. It seems like the YouTube subs thing did not update. Test. What's up, Pew? How's it going? Can you guys hear me? Pew, can you hear me on that end? Yep, yes you can. Okay, cool. Maybe I just grab this chat widget, which I think is this. Let's do this. We'll go to edit, docs, custom browser docs. We're gonna call this multi-chat widget. We'll post that here. Hello, what's up, Swampy? We're gonna hope that maybe this works. Docs. Everyone welcome to chat. Hope everyone's doing okay. We are currently trying to dock a new widget. However, it doesn't look like it's actually docking. Maybe it is. Oh, hi. Okay, maybe let's just go ahead and see if it works. So there's Armin Jace. I can see Armin Jace. Pew, aha. Okay, so maybe things are working. I'm not really sure. So I guess we're just gonna have to test this out. Let me go over on YouTube and let me type something. I don't believe I'm actually, if you can see me, what am I doing? I can't see you. But I can hopefully see. I'm trying to see if I see chat from YouTube because I'm live streaming on every platform tonight. Oh, it actually popped up. Okay, cool. So I might just have to use this for chat. I'm not very happy about using this for chat, but it'll be what it is. I'm okay with that. Anyway, hello everyone, welcome to chat. Tonight we are actually going to be doing some YouTube edits for some clients. Eating sushi from Sam's Club, nice. Tonight we're doing some edits for a few clients that I'm working with, and instead of me just sitting here by myself, the waifu is here. It's pretty banging. Is it really? The waifu is hanging out over here. She's got my headphones on. I'm testing out these new earbuds tonight. Let's see if it'll actually break the focus. They are the Soundcore wireless earbuds, the VR wireless earbuds. Because they come with a dongle, they basically are like my SteelSeries buds, which is really cool. Hello, Cyrus Waifu. Yeah, so hopefully the goal tonight is to do some tests with these. They're connected directly to my computer, so completely wireless, no delay. We're going to be doing some edits. They're not even connected by Bluetooth, which is, in my opinion, the coolest thing. We're doing a new camera layout. So this is the Sigma 30mm f1.4 on the Sony ZV-E10. And I'm loving this shot, this downward shot. All that compression back there is so cool. I could totally splash some light back there and get a little bit more ambiance back there. Do you remember my deleted user 6980 404 not Ford account? Because I do remember you. What's up, deleted user? How's it going? Did you see the Stream Deck Plus that I could? Yeah. How did you do that? How did you do that? Because I got to figure that out. Let's do that together, shall we? Before I actually get in, because I loved that. This one's kind of hard because I'm in 1440p, so it's going to be whatever. But I've got these pages. I'll probably just add a page and we can work fresh over here. So I bought it. Okay. Oh, so they're profiles. Watcher, how's it going? Welcome to chat. Hope everyone's doing all right. So it is a profile. Windows Stream Deck Plus profile, color panel. Oh, it's just a color panel thing? 35 bucks. Holy God, it is $35. Oh my gosh. There's got to be a way to link all of this stuff without having to pay $35 though. Icons. There's got to be a way to actually link all this stuff together without having to pay $35. Oh my. $35 is crazy. I'm doing good. Just off playing Starfield on my series. Hey, are you enjoying your Series X? I know that you just got it, right? And you got like Hogwarts or something? You enjoying it? Everything going well with it? By the way, can you hear me, guys? Is everything like clear? Actually like hearable? I kind of wanted tacos, but the wife wanted sushi, so we compromised on like Sam's Club sushi. Hey, you gotta do what you gotta do, right? Gotta do what you gotta do. I mean, that's pretty cool, but if that's just for the color, 8 profiles all linked together for the main profile. I don't know, $35. Was it worth it, Pew? The new glass looks crisp. You talking about for this? Yeah, I love. Let me go back over here. Switch. I love. This isn't new glass. I just only use this. I've been only using this for special use cases. So like this was my B-roll shot from my A cam, and I just went ahead. 5 rolls, 40. Oh my God, that's crazy. That's crazy. N9, it controls it all. Oh, really? Oh, okay. $25. That's crazy for all of that sushi. That's ridiculous. I'll have to take a look at this. I'm gonna add to cart and then I'll come back for this pack for this thing. I'm pretty sure the green screen thing still technically works. No, it doesn't. I'll send you a video of what it can do. Yeah, please do. Because if it's worth it. Oh, it does scrolls, waveform increases, channel pulls. Oh, it's got JKL adjustments. Place on top, select clips, trim ends. Oh, that's... adjusting. Oh, that's pretty cool. I'm really enjoying loving it, Hogwarts and everything the Series X has given me. Although games are getting so large to keep my 4 to 5 games installed, it's taking up a large amount of my 1 terabyte. Yeah, and I think what you need to do is if you have xCloud, you're going to probably have to like take advantage of it. So only keep the games on there that you know you want to play consistent, but then like the games that are on xCloud, just delete them off the Xbox and then connect to xCloud. The ones that you're not going to play that often. So you don't have to keep things downloaded locally. All right, so the goal tonight is I've got to get some files down. I've got a client who's releasing a video Monday. And it wasn't the video that I was anticipating that he wanted to release. So we've got to do a full edit on his video. And while I'm in DaVinci, those of you who are looking at editing, you're about to watch my flow and how I'm doing things, please ask. As I'm about to do all of this, I think everything's probably already synced. So, but yeah, please ask any questions you've got in DaVinci as I'm going along. None of these clients are kind of like, over the top editing, so I'm not really worried about if it's going to be difficult or anything like that. What I'm more worried about is just the amount of like edits and cuts and things. But I'll add everything to a queue and render it later. Clients, Dino's, here we go. Sent. Where did you send it? You sent it on X? Oh, it's a YouTube video? I'll watch it in a bit. I'm not going to watch it live. Really enjoying it. Yeah, Hogwarts is so good. I wish that I like wanted to finish that game, but Hogwarts is so good. I got like maybe 25% of the way through the game, truthfully. I didn't get too far. I'm actually going to turn this on so I can hear myself monitor maybe. Testing 1 2 3. Yeah, okay, there we go. So let's grab, I'm trying to remember the files that I have already downloaded. I think I've got I need to get Sandwich, Detroit. I know I need these two. So let's grab these two. Clients, Dino. When they all load. I'm having this problem tonight where they don't want to load files. Let me dump all this in here. Alright. Oh my god, it's like 50 gigabytes of files that I've got to download. Holy stuff. Well, transfer rather. I'm excited to see your workflow. Yeah, so I do things honestly in a unique way, but it's honestly based upon client. So I'll be in both editors tonight. I'm going to be in Premiere and DaVinci. So I'm going to be in DaVinci first. I'm going to knock out, if time permits, I'll knock out 4 videos for this client tonight. It should just be some quick edits. I've already got some things kind of already like in place to make it easy, but I'll be in Premiere for the other one because I've got a plugin that makes editing podcasts really simple, and I'll show you that workflow because that one's crazy. As I play and finish the game, I tend to uninstall it once I finish it. I have it all on there, really games that I'm playing, but once I'm done with Starfield, I uninstall it. Yeah, and Starfield's one of those that it's so big, I probably would play it in the cloud. Unless the latency really was such a big problem. Anyway, I am loving these things. These things are cool. These are like $80 earbuds. Can I turn this back on? I can. And if I go here, does that work now? Hey, it works. So now I'm green screened out. Okay. I use transcripts a lot to build the story out. Yeah, and it depends. It depends on the client, depending on what I'm doing. So, a lot of my clients right now are either podcast clients or real estate stuff. So nothing that's too simple when it comes to actually telling a story. The real estate client we're working on doing walking tours, and I haven't really promoted any of my clients because I didn't want them to get any traffic that wasn't genuine. But inevitably you're going to see their client stuff tonight, so you can kind of ask questions and understand what that looks like as we kind of go through. Yeah, because like I said, things are going to kind of be unique in how they're working. So let's see, I think everything just downloaded for that. So I've got Detroit, Historic, Little Italy, and Riverside Drive driving. Okay, so these are the 4 that I technically have to work on tonight. So we're going to be in Resolve for a lot of this. Hopefully Resolve acts funny and acts nice and doesn't do something stupid, because I've had this problem the last couple days. Actually, let me turn on my overclock for my card so I can run low millivolts. Do you Fiverr Fiverr for edit work? No. So I have a Fiverr account, but I don't use Fiverr to gain clients. I did it early on, but then I realized that I wasn't getting the quality of client that I wanted, and I wasn't getting repeat clients. So I actually do Upwork, and I spent about like 2 weeks solid building out my Upwork profile and really kind of like driving that forward. But once I got like 3 clients that were higher paying, consistent, like it's the same clients I've had consistently, it's been pretty easy to work with them and to be able to produce content for them. So Upwork has been amazing, and I can't promote it enough. Upwork really, like if I go here, it's so cool. You get like free stuff to get started. What you do is when you get into Upwork, you basically find the job and you're quote unquote like applying for it. So and just kind of, you can show your work and a whole bunch of other stuff. Latency was a major issue because of glitching, and major latency issues result in long waiting times just to do small things. But once I'm done with that, I'll uninstall it. Forza 5, got it on console, maybe uninstall that. Yeah. So like here we go. I'll zoom in and show you. So like I've got connects, or the way you like apply for jobs. I've got 197 connects, and this is like currency. So you can't like on Fiverr go on here and just apply for 10,000 jobs, right? It's not going to work. You have to have this currency to apply, and so it's not pay to win, but there's definitely you can't just apply for every single job like Indeed or something. And so like this one is like YouTube, Twitch video editing. Like I would probably apply for this one, but they have a short turnaround, 48 to 36 hour turnaround time, right? So you go in here, you look at this, $30 to $60 hourly. You send them, there's like 10 to 15 proposals, averaging 60 is the high, 30 is the low. You send them your application. Like I'm probably going to save this job and go apply for it later. You send them the application, you give them all of your information, and then they like can set up an interview with you to do some really like more in-depth conversation. You usually do like a one piece, like a one small piece for them to kind of get a baseline, and then you just kind of go from there. But Upwork has been fantastic. So like this one here, I'll probably save 2 to 3 videos a week. Budget $100. I mean, that's not going to be $100 a video probably. But things like this, like I'll save this job and go back and apply. And you can kind of like over connect cost so they can see that like you're interested. So like any of these that are Twitch, I usually click. I don't do a bunch of shorts, but it can be helpful. I hope that made sense, Pew. I think you're the one who asked it. So anyway, for Resolve, I'm still in 18.5. I'm not updating to 18.6 just yet, just because I try to do like one update behind, because sometimes they update and then they brick it. So I always try to say like one update behind. Anyway, I operate in the cloud for all of my saves so that I can just take my files locally and go to my MacBook and edit there if I want. But the local file stays in the cloud. But I've got a DC client work one where I've got different projects for each person. So I'm going to go ahead and click on this one, and I've got basically bins. There was a time when I just made its own like digital file per person, or like per project, like per video had its own project. Well, I've realized that I just making bins over here under the master section made it a lot easier for me to keep things consistent. So that's what I've done. Like I've got the little Italy files here, Riverside Drive files here. I'm gonna have to create a couple new bins to kind of, again, keep myself consistent. So we're gonna do a new bin. We're gonna call this one whatever the 2 folders are I just grabbed. Detroit Historic Sandwich Town. So So we'll rename this bin. We're going to do Historic Sandwich Town. And then same thing under master and making a new bin. We're going to call it Detroit. And so what I'm going to do is under Historic Sandwich Town, here's all of the files that we pulled over. He sent over some audio files. Problem is that these audio files most of the time aren't very good, quote unquote, because he doesn't have like the best recording situation. So I'll drop all these in. I'll turn down the music so you guys can kind of hear how this goes. So here's his sound raw.
That shaped the culture in this region. Today is October 2nd.
So you can see it's kind of just raw, and then here's McGregor.
Significance of this building comes from John Cowan, who purchased the house in the early 1830s.
So not everything is always like leveled out. So what I'll do is he sends me M4As because he records on his phone. I made an account that I need to learn it on more. Apply for 2 video jobs in response. Yeah, so I will tell you the one thing that really helped me. I'll show you. If I go to proposals, this was, here's archived proposals. So here's like all my old ones. So if I click this, you'll be able to see my cover letter. And so I cover things that are like who my name is, what kind of content, what my background was. But honestly, people are sold by the fact that I'm a YouTuber that's made it and I'm full-time. And this kind of is what sells it to people, honestly, is they see that I've been able to achieve this and grow my platform. And then they're like, oh my gosh, you're able to grow your platform. That's so cool. I can get behind someone who's done it. And then I just spell out everything. Like I was a teacher, what my hardware is, what is my upload speed, my channel, and I send that to them. In my first few, I applied for a gajillion jobs and nothing. I probably spent like $120 just on the connects to continue to apply until I got my first client. And then from there, I got paid from the first client, and now I don't even invoice on Upwork anymore because they take a little bit of the actual money. So what I do now is I just invoice through my company, and then just pay the processing fees for credit card stuff. So this is kind of what I've moved to. I'll get them on this platform. We'll do one job so I can get a review, and then I move them off platform to my invoicing software. So anyway, so I'm here to convert some files, MVA to MP3. Cloud Convert, there's a whole bunch of these that'll do this. So I'm going to go to Cloud Convert. I'm going to go ahead and grab all these files. We're going to go here. Historic Sandwich Town. We're going to grab all of these M4A files and convert them to MP3. Nice, thanks for that. Yeah, if you want me to, I'll grab this just so you have it. Let me just go to Twitter, and for you, I'll just go ahead and send it to you so you can have it. Pew! Let's see if it'll actually... I put everything in there. All right, so that's like my whole proposal. I've sent this to a few people who have been trying to get into doing stuff like this. So if you want this, this is a really good way to kind of drive yourself into this situation. So try that out. See what you think. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and click convert on these. We're going to upload, process, change. Okay, so here's an MP3. We need to put these back in that folder. So client, Dino, Historic Sandwich. We're going to make a new folder. We're going to call this MP3. Save. That was Ambassador Bridge. Save. And save. And now I pay for Adobe Podcast. And so I'm going to go ahead. I'll put some of the music back in so it's not just dry. You're so nice. I'll buy some Skittles. Please. Skittles are the way. Skittles are the way. All right, so what I'll do is go in here to Adobe Podcast. I pay for Creative Cloud every month. So I get premium access, which is kind of like the faster processing for all of this stuff. So any of his stuff that he sends me, because he doesn't have like a good microphone and a good recording situation, this is really good because I can throw it in here. It'll kind of just enhance the speech and move some stuff along. While this is working, we can close out some of these old timelines. But I'm going to leave this one up. So this is an example of a timeline for this client. By the way, a nifty trick, if you don't know, if you middle click your mouse, you can easily move the timeline around. If you middle click and move, instead of having to like control scroll, you can just like grab it and move it with middle click. Anyway, his stuff is really simple, because it's literally just taking his walking stuff and just putting it in the timeline and being able to scrub it. So what we're going to do is in Historic Sandwich, we're going to create a timeline, create a new, I'm going to call this one Historic Sandwich. Not going to do anything crazy. We're going to leave it here. I'm going to grab all 3 of his files, drop them in. And there we go. All right, so I've got some assets for him in an assets folder, plus as well as a whole bunch of streams, beats, music. I took some time to make him a lower third banner. And so his lower third banner is real simple. Once you drop it in here, it's just his information as a realtor. Nothing too crazy, but I just made this up in Photoshop just so I don't have to create it 1,000 times. It's kind of already done, so I don't have to keep recreating the wheel each time. But what I do is I leave an old project up because we have kind of a style of text and stuff that we've already kind of created here. So what I'll do is, what you can see here is we've got some text pieces and some text stuff, some that have subtitles, some that don't. So what I'll do is just grab kind of everything that I've used in the past, just so I can kind of put it over in the new project because it's consistent. Another thing that I did when I first did this was use cross dissolves before using this. And it was just because I didn't have as much control with this, which is the fade in, fade outs for the text. But when this transitions out, it will just transition out and then transition to the next piece. So nothing too crazy. Pulling it forward, making it feel a little bit more natural. Cool. All right, so this client is a godsend. Okay, these audios are done. Let's test them.
The Ambassador Bridge is currently the busiest international crossing between the United States.
Wow, that's so much better. 90% strength. I usually go anywhere between 70 and 90. 100% strength starts taking out some of the top end sounds. So I don't try to pull too much out. So that's Ambassador Bridge, McGregor.
The McGregor Cowan House was constructed in...
Easy. We'll download that. And Sandwich intro.
Hey everyone. Dino Kasparis, your EXP real estate agent here in Windsor, Ontario.
Easy.
Today.
All right, download. We got all 3 of those now. I'm going to go in here to MP3. This should be the increased one. Boom, boom, boom. We're going to go back over to Historic. Grab them in and drop. I use Alt-T. Yeah, it's the same thing. You talking about the ends where they like filter in and out? Yeah, I like giving a little bit more control because if you can actually get in here granular and adjust these just a little bit more. Alt-T works though. Sometimes I want them to be in a little bit longer. And these work great because you can really adjust them fine, but you can go in here and adjust the pieces here. I don't think there's a right or a wrong reason here. This is just what I'm used to now. All right, cool. So we've got an intro. So we can actually delete the bad ones. Cool. Oh, hold on. Did I delete too much? This one, and this one. Delete those are out. Okay. All right, so before we do anything, I'm actually going to go ahead and on this track, just so I can actually deal with this. Because this is outdoor sounds, you can see that things peak. You can see like we get up to -5 on some of this. There's a motorcycle that's going past in this one. So what we're going to do is on audio 1, which is the actual audio for the video, we're going to go ahead and start off with a compressor, just to kind of hold things together. I don't like the compressor and EQ and stuff in here, so I use the actual like VSTs that pop in. So what I'm going to do is go ahead, increase the limits on everything. Ratios, I'm going to put up to 4, which is typical for voice, but this works really well for this application as well. And then I'm going to kind of sit around this point here, and we're going to see how much this gets pulled down. Yep. And then these are kind of leveled out as well. So what I'm going to do is threshold these down to about 30. And so now that's not passing -15. That's good. It's not too much. It kind of squeezes things together a little bit. Easy. That's done. And I don't feel like I'm going to overpower things. All right, cool. Next is we're going to get his introduction in here. So this should be multiple passes.
Sandwich is known as the and operated that way. Sandwich is located on this. It's 27 degrees Celsius. 1997. European settlement for trade and during World War for the underground the main Sandwich Street. Now let's get after it.
Okay, not multiple passes. He gave me 1 pass. All right. Oh, by the way, all of these transitions I'm doing are on my mouse. So I use, I've talked about it before, I use the Logitech G602 if it'll break my eyes. There you go. And it's because, oh my God, I need to clean in between that. Look, I use the 6 side buttons on the Logitech G602. I've got cut, select, play, zoom timeline, zoom out timeline, and delete, all hotkeyed to my mouse to make all of this so much easier. Like left hand, I'm doing all of this without actually doing anything. So like I'm cutting all of this space. None of this is done with my left hand actually down. So all I'm doing is just going ahead and trimming out all of this space that's in between these tracks. So literally I keep it as simple as possible because you can kind of overcomplicate editing a lot. So the way that you can make it the most easy for you, the better. Take the opportunity to kind of just trim some things out. By the way, guys, if you have questions, please make sure you ask. Anything you want to be able to ask. It doesn't even have to be like editing related. But I'm going to be doing this work tonight, so I figured while I'm sitting here, you guys can ask some stuff. So the more you edit for people, you start realizing the words and what the framing looks like. Like this work looks like the word but it's probably not. And the more you start realizing all of that, it makes things just a little bit easier. Like I'm not even listening to his track, and I can kind of tell where his natural breaths are. You kind of learn as you edit for someone what their tendencies are, and I can look at a waveform. It's weird. I can look at a waveform and tell who I'm editing for. Again, really, really weird to say that, but you kind of get used to reading waveforms. All right, so we're going to pull this intro together really quick. We should be, yeah, right at the very end. I use the wired G600, I believe. I'm all about streamlining workflow. Exactly. Yeah, I used to use the G602, which was the baby model of the G604. It was the previous model, and it actually used it so much. I bought it 2019, and it broke in 2021. I used it for over 2 years. And I believe in this mouse so much that I bought the 604, which is like $60, by the way. I bought the 604, and then like I started working at the real estate office, and I was like, I want another one. So I bought one that I left at work. Well, I didn't buy it. The boss bought it. And it stayed at work. And that was my editing mouse at work. And then I have one here. So I would literally edit at work, come home, and play games on the exact same mouse. I love this mouse so much. It's like the perfect weight. It's heavy enough that it doesn't feel like it's over the top. It feels nice. It really does. All right, let's listen to this and see what this sounds like.
Hey everyone, Dino Kasparis, your eXp real estate agent here in Windsor, Ontario. Today, I will be taking you on a stroll in the historic Sandwich town. Sandwich has a long, rich history that shaped the town. Sandwich has a long, rich history that.
Okay, so I don't know if you can tell, but
Today, I will be taking Sandwich as
this right here feels really rushed. So I'm actually just going to trim this and move this forward.
the historic Sandwich town. Sandwich has a long, rich history that shaped the culture in this region. Today is October 2nd. It's a warm fall day. It's 27 degrees Celsius, 81 Fahrenheit. Sandwich is located on the southwest side of Windsor. It's established as a French colony in 1797, incorporated as its own township in 1858, and operated that way until it was amalgamated with the city of Windsor. Sandwich is in 35. Sandwich is known as the oldest continuous European settlement located west of Montreal and was an important hub for trade and government. This community was a major battleground between the Americans and British during the War of 1812, and this was a major terminal for the Underground Railroad. We will be walking along the main Sandwich Street to check out this wonderful area. Now, let's get out.
All right, easy. Nothing crazy, nothing over the top. That felt natural.
Hey everyone.
Oh, and I edit everything almost always on ×2 speed. There's no reason to. You okay? Am I too loud? Okay. I edit things almost always on ×2. You want to focus on me and hold on me there? The camera defocused and focused on her. I edit most things on ×2 speed. How did you do ×2 on the fly? JKL. So K is 1 times.
Hey everyone. Dino Kasparis,
L is to
your
play
eXp
forward.
real estate
If you hit
agent
L
here in
again,
Windsor, Ontario. Today,
goes
I will be
×2, ×4, and K is to stop. And then J is take you backwards. L is forwards. Same thing. You double tap, it goes back and forth. That's JKL on the keyboard.
Hey everyone, Dino Kasparis, your eXp real estate agent.
All right, so one thing that this client does that I really love, if I can go find it, he takes the time to literally write out everything he wants. And he's the first client to make it this easy for me because he actually takes all of the stuff and he makes the storyboard for me. Literally like what text to be able to include and where to put it. So easy. And he literally gives me the timestamp and the file name. It blows my mind. He literally makes my life so easy when it comes to editing with this stuff. And I told him, I was like, bro, you don't have to, you're making my job easy for me. And he was like, yeah, but like, this is my stuff too. So I want to make sure that I, make it simple for everyone. And, I know what I'm looking for. You haven't lived in Canada, so you don't know Windsor, Ontario, which is where he's from. And so he kind of just creates this whole thing for me. So what I'm going to do is this page, I'm going to dock it over here on the side. We're going to pull it really small. And let's just do fit. And yeah, it'll adjust it down. But anyway, so I might actually pull it over on my second monitor. The problem is I have all this streaming stuff over here. I think I'll just leave it right here so I can have it. So it's on my second monitor, but it's the same thing. This is what I'm using to follow, and where I'm getting all of this information is from right here. So, but he kind of just makes it easy for me, and I'm not like against it. He's awesome for it, but it's not something he has to do necessarily. But he makes it so easy. So what I've done is I've got these text pieces, like this one right here. I'll just Alt, hold, and drag, and that just duplicates. Right? So I've just made all of those without having to actually recreate them. And it keeps obviously the same setting. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete the ones that I just created because I'm going to try to do them specifically. So I'm looking for any kind of text. Use generic copyright. Cool. So all I'm going to do is just take his text that he has here. And we're just going to edit what I've got. So here's the effect, title, drop this in. That's that. Windsor, Ontario, easy. First one's done.
Windsor, Ontario. Today, I will be taking you.
Done, easy. Next one is at 112 on the video. Drag one of these over here. Same thing, I'm just grabbing another Command C, pasting that there, and he wants a subheading, which is the actual address. So, and again, these are already preset, so that's done. He wanted it 112 4 file 244, which should be this one right here. Yeah, file 244. So easy. Pops up real easy, real quick. We're going to finish all of this rendering and all these tags before we do anything crazy. The next one's at 2:21, which I'm looking up here for the timestamps, by the way. Pull this one over with the heading. I have to check a few times he's actually put in the wrong like spelling for a couple things, but is that him screaming? Aston, is that him screaming?
I don't know, honey. I'm wearing headphones.
He's good. All right. We should be back. Guys, tell me if something is disconnected, because I can't really... It's not that I'm actively monitoring or not actively monitoring. I'm just not paying too much. Do what, babe?
I'm falling asleep.
I love you.
No, you do. It's kind of boring. I'm reading frame. I saw the difference between conceptual frameworks and literature reviews.
Joy.
I thought they were the same thing. They are not.
Love you. All right. I see it all still. Good. All right, so we're going to grab... Next one's at 2:59. Right there, dragging it over. There's not many of these. He has an audio file he wants to dump in here. So we'll have to trim that. This one's just 3201. I'm just going to change the title. 3201. All right, easy. Next one is 259. I did 259. 646. Dragging forward. Right here. All right, and again, I'm literally just using my mouse to make sure this is easy for me. Because it's, again, the quicker that you can kind of get it going, and you get into this kind of flow of just dropping, you know, any kind of edits you need to be able to do, go for it. I don't know why this one says Sandwich Street. But the other ones don't. Okay. All right, the next one is at... In this one, he wants it at 49. So what I'm doing is double clicking the audio file, and then it's right here at the top. I want a sandwich now, right? You and I both are in the same point. All right, so he wants to actually drop this in McGregor Townhouse. And this is here where he wants a new audio file. So we're going to drop this in. McGregor Townhouse 3118. All right. Okay, cool. All right, now he wants this McGregor Townhouse. He wants this to start just a second or so after.
The McGregor Cowan House was constructed in 1808 and is the second oldest building still standing in Windsor. The first owner was a well-known merchant named James McGregor. The cultural significance of this building comes from John Cowan, who purchased the house in the early 1830s. He used this house as a print shop for the Canadian Emigrant, which was the very first newspaper
I turned up the sound so you guys
in
could
this
hear.
region. The heritage value of this building can also be seen with its architecture. It's a mixture of British Georgian styling with French-Canadian chimney arrangements. Now this heritage property is used as a museum and bakery.
All right, I'm not against that. He actually did pretty good. My problem is... I think that's the home. I think I might move this back so that the audio...
The McGregor Cowan House was constructed in 1808
Yeah, I think we're going to do it like this.
and is the second oldest building still standing in Windsor. The first owner...
Yeah, I think that's how we're going to treat that. All right, file is inserted. I don't think I'm going to actually trim it. It felt actually like he paced that decently, if I'm being completely honest. The next one's at 227. That's 327. Let's back up a minute. 234. There we go. Pull this one up. But yeah, so when it comes to getting clients for stuff like this, they really just loved the idea that I'd basically done it. And so, like, even if you were going to do this, Pew, and you wanted to take on a couple of clients, I think, from a business standpoint, this is a really, you already do this, right? You know, anyone who's really watching this, whether it be any kind of creator, like I said, you're already kind of doing this for yourself all the time. So to do it for another person, you're just taking your expertise and kind of capitalizing on it, because it is your knowledge and you've taken all that time to, like, you know, learn and expand. So, like, here's one where I have to actually change his capitalizations. All right, that one's easy. And this is the next file, 252 into the next track. Close. And Sculpture Trail. And I know that that's going to be a little bit too big when it comes to the next thing I'm gonna do, which is a thing, an overlay that's here. That's actually like 6 times the rendering because I have to put a QR code and his logo in here. And so when I do that, every frame has to basically burn that in, and so it like ruins encoding times. Next one is 412. So when it comes to footage they send you, do they send a lot? And you build it all from scratch footage? So for this specific client, it's just a walking tour. And so this is probably on the easier side of the stuff that I get because... Did I put this in the wrong place? 250? Yeah, that's in the crazy wrong place. 252. Where's Ambassador Bridge?
The Ambassador Bridge is...
Yeah, so sometimes what they send me is just a little... It's just like connect, which is what this is. It's just, hey, can you connect all this footage? Because it's not supposed to be like broken. Because it's supposed to be this walking piece, right? So this is literally just a walking piece. This is like, it's not the hardest content to edit, but they are 4K files. It's a nice camera that records all of this stuff. And you can't tell that from that preview window, but like here's everything large. Like this is a really nice camera that he records this with. Like that's Detroit. He's in Canada, and you can see Detroit from Windsor. And so right now he's recording the Detroit skyline. And so what he does is he sends this, and it takes some processing power to really work with these files. I mean, I have the gear to do it. It doesn't change the fact that it's difficult to do sometimes. Oh man. Yeah, this is the one that I wanted to adjust. I can actually increase the font on this one back up to 70 somethings. Cool. Yeah, so this one's pretty easy. So I'm technically almost done. I'm gonna have to drop some music in. I'm gonna have to burn something in over the top, and then I'm gonna add it to render. So I've got an assets. I have an outro. So here's the outro.
And the QR code. Please consider liking and subscribing.
There's that. I drop this in. Fade this in.
If you find this video and other content on my channel,
which is simple. All right, back over to old Walkerville. Hold on, Hudson's screaming. Give me a second. Honey, do you hear him screaming? Is he down there with you? Where are you at? Oh, I would edit it in half or quarter. Sorry, my son keeps... We're trying to get him to poop. Timeline proxy. I'm not using proxies. The fact that he had a decent camera makes this interesting because you're not only getting some good info, but also view of some amazing vistas and sites. Yeah, I'm going to show you a couple of really cool things. Yeah, so I'm rendering it full right now. I guess I could change it to half, so I'm at 1080p, but haven't had an issue. Okay, I need to open up. Is it Downtown Ouellette timeline? Is this the timeline? There we go. So this is the one that I need to copy these two things and move them to Sandwich. We'll push them all the way back. I'm going to bring them kind of up towards the end. And I'm not going to have them start until after this initial piece.
Today is October 2nd. It's a warm
so
fall
there's
day.
his QR
It's
codes.
27 degrees Celsius.
And so the whole video, there's a QR code that leads to his business stuff, and then he wants his logo baked in. And so then at the very end of this, they should fade out. They do.
Other content on my channel helpful. And you have questions about Windsor real estate?
And then there's that at the
I'd
very
like
end.
to hear from you. My phone number.
All right, cool. So this video is explaining why different timelines, same project. Okay, so this is interesting. So I'll show you why. Okay, so for a while, I used for every single like new video. Every video had its own, like basically one timeline, one project. Okay. But then when I started working with clients where I'm reusing assets and basically transitions, title pieces, any of that stuff, I realized that having to recreate those each time took way too long. So what I do is I actually create, for every single new project, I just make a new bin for that client. And so I have a bin here that's just assets. Let me go over to the media folder so you can see, like, so these are all assets for his stuff, okay? And then each of these are project folders built into the master bin, okay? And so all of this is just each individual thing. And so why I do that is I don't have to close this project, open another project, to copy an asset, to close the project, to open another project, to paste the asset. So what I do is keep it all in one, and I started doing this for several different reasons and several different things. Multiple timelines per project is something that I've been using for a long time, but not in this instance. This is the only reason I do it for this is to make editing faster. I do it for different reasons, which you'll see when I get in Premiere. I usually have like 5 or 6 timelines for the same video, and it's because it makes so many things simple and easy, whatever the case. So here I'll show you an example. Let me go back to edit. So let's say that I'm going to make a new timeline. So let's go ahead and do this. Create new timeline, and we're going to say, I'm just going to call it test. So here's this test timeline. I'm going to take, oh, hold on. Can I move this timeline to Historic Sandwich? Okay, so here's the test timeline. And I'm going to take 244, which is his footage, right? I'm going to drop it in here. But what I'm going to do is, and there's so many ways to do this, but making a timeline makes this simple, and I'll show you why. So let's say I'm in here, right? And I want to adjust the color on this timeline. There's so many ways to do this in Resolve, but this is one way. So I want to adjust this. We're here. I'm actually going to boost, and I always do this, about 11 for color boost. Maybe we'll do about 20 just to over exaggerate. we're going to decrease the highlights, which pulls some of this out. And I'm looking at my spectroforms over here on the side. His camera does a really good job of not blowing out the highlights, but I'm going to pull the highlights down. I'm going to boost the shadows. I'm going to boost the shadows ever so slightly. And then I'm also going to offset, pull it down just a little bit. And this lets this color pop a little bit. So before, after, you can see the big difference here. So again, this is after, before. You can see how much flatter, how much cleaner, okay? And so as you scroll through this, you can feel this is just a lot easier to see. The sky's not blown out, right? Now, what I'll do is back in my timeline, there's this right here. I've already made these adjustments. Let's say that I also want to make some adjustments to the audio, specifically to that. I can go in here to this audio, and let's say that I want to add in some spots, make some adjustments on some audio. Right, we can kind of increase a section. Let's say we decrease a section, over exaggerate. Now, when I go back in here to timeline, you can see everything's here. But when I go to my original timeline, which I consider my main, which is the title of the actual project, it's obviously not adjusted this, but you can take a timeline and embed it into another timeline. So this is timeline nesting. What you can see is there's that blown out section, right? And here's this section. And so if I've already embedded this timeline, let's say that I put this in here. I've already done some cut ups. I've removed this section, done all of this, right? Now, let's say that I want to go back and I'm like, I hate the color of this. I want to make this adjustment. Instead of going into the color panel, select, and making adjustments, right? Or adding them to a group and doing group post clip, I can just go back to my original timeline, the test one. I'm just going to over exaggerate, color boost everything down. I'm going to go back over here. You're going to see, if I scroll through here, you can see it's blown out, right? But when I go back to my main timeline where I've dropped that in, those changes are retroactive. So timeline nesting is an incredible opportunity because you can kind of dump all your footage into a timeline, make all of your adjustments, and then when you dump your timeline into what would be considered your main project, after you cut stuff up and you move some stuff around, you can go back into the main one that has your like full length A roll or full length B roll, make color adjustments, and it will reflect later in your main timeline without having to adjust stuff. So there's a lot of times when I have 4 and 5 timelines per project with only one being the master and the other ones being like docked files. Because once you start, especially in Resolve, when you go in here and you start doing this and you start making multiple clips, right? When I go into the color panel, now I've got multiple of these. And sure, I can go, let's select all of these, right? I can go to here, add into new group, make it a group, change this to group post clip and make all those adjustments too. But that's only for color. If I wanted to make audio adjustments, like I wanted to add in or maybe change out the audio for that clip, color grading at the end is a long process. Yeah, but this speeds it up. But the reason that I do this is not for color necessarily, it's for audio. So there's a reason why I do this. So what you'll do is, let's undo all of this. Okay. So the reason that I really do it is because of audio. So if I want to go back and make some major audio adjustments, let's say I'm working with a podcast client and I realize that the audio is just scuffed and I've already had it in the timeline and adjusting it, but I want to go run it through like an AI scaler for the audio to make it cleaner. Now I have to go back and I've already cut up the audio. Now I have to work in reverse and either start over or just go another way. So what I normally do is any A roll, I throw in a timeline, throw that timeline into the master timeline, and then edit off of that. So if I have to make an audio adjustment later, change out the audio file, anything like that, I can go back into the A roll main file, literally delete the audio, replace it with the AI tuned audio, and it will be retroactively changed back into the main project. I do this all the time. So multiple timelines per is a huge thing that I do. So I would say that's the most important piece out of all of this is multiple timeline adjustments. So, but for this one, for color grading at least, I have to put in some audio, but I'm going to go in color grade. I'm actually going to go in here, select these 3 files because I'm not having to cut them. I'm going to select these 3 files, add into new group, okay. And then I'm going to select the first clip. And because they're grouped, any adjustment I make on one will make the adjustments on the other 2. This is good for static shots. But for this, I'm just really doing color boost. Change this to group post clip up here. So now, if this was on just clip and I make an adjustment, let's say I do color boost and blow this out, this clip is still the same. This clip is blown out, right? But if I change this to group post clip, if I blow this out, it will go ahead and retroactively adjust these as well. But this is just for color, remember. This is why I use nested stuff. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the same thing I did before. A little bit of color boost. I'm looking at the spectroscope over here. Pulling the highlights down so that they sit under the bottom. Pull the shadows up just so that they sit. And then offset down ever so slightly. Just to where it relaxes. You can see that has adjusted through here as well. Looks clean. Yeah. So all of that's really easy to be able to do. Quick and dirty. Now I need to add in some music. I have taken the opportunity to, under music tracks, I've downloaded all of Harris's Stream Beats, all of his lo-fi stuff. So right now I'm literally just randomly clicking. It doesn't really matter. There's so much of his stuff that I have that I'm not worried about doubling up right now. I'm going to grab some stuff in here and drop them in. And Harris allows you to do this, by the way. He doesn't care if you do this. I actually told him I did it when I met him. I was like, bro, your Stream Beats help my business. And he was like, really? I was like, yeah, man. I use Stream Beats all the time for my business. And he was like, pop off. Do what you want. What I'm going to do is adjust this. We're going to go over to music, into Fairlight. You can see this is all really loud. Do the same thing here, but I'm going to drop 16, filter, EQ, or excuse me, Dynamics, Fairlight FX. Oh no, where's it at? Let's just use the built-in EQ for right now. So here's EQ. All I'm going to do is scoop out the 500s, boost the uppers, boost the bottoms, and this is that spoken voice part, kind of where everything is sitting. When you start getting into like really understanding sound spectrum, as a music person, this was easy. But when you realize that like the spoken voice sits inside that like 500 scoop range, 500 to 1,000, that's spoken word. That's your voice. And that's where a lot of like singing and like natural sounds occur. The moment that you start learning how to soundscape stuff, and what I do is I scoop out for all of my tracks. If there's any A-roll audio, I will scoop out that area so that my voice in that frequency is the only thing that's kind of dominating that frequency. And that allows you to actually keep your B-roll audio up a little bit, your background music audio up a little bit, to where you still get the presence of the audio music, but it's not overpowering the voice, is by doing a 500 hertz scoop or so. So what I'm going to do is, this should, I'm about -20. It's not meant to be much, but
The McGregor Cowan House.
that's that. I'll also go to, on the last bus, the final, I'll go to Dynamics, Fairlight FX, and then I'm going to throw a brick wall limiter on it so that I don't pass -6 dB. -8 is like the average for any kind of audio is -8 dB, so I always do that. I do the same thing you taught me a while back when you review my channel. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, a scoop down in the center is so nice. It makes things so simple. And it just really allows your B-roll to sit above, your audio to sit above, but still have the background music sit here. So what you'll hear is his voice is about to happen. The music is only at negative 10 dB, but you're still going to be able to hear him.
Standing in Windsor. The first owner was a well-known merchant named James McGregor. The cultural significance of this building comes from John Cowan, who purchased the
dropped down
house
to negative 13.
in the early 1830s. He used this house as a print shop for the Canadian Emigrant, which was the very first newspaper circulated in this region.
All right, easy. So now what I'm going to do is, now I've got it, I'm going to zoom into this area, and while I'm in fair light, you can do some things you can't do inside the edit panel. If you hold Alt, you can click and make these dots. I'm going to make 4. 1, 2 before, 2 after. I'm going to take the second one, I'm going to pull, and all I'm doing is cutting out just a few more dB.
The McGregor Cowan House, an emigrant, which
Maybe just a touch more. 6.4. Yeah.
the
Just kind
McGregor
of phase things out. Mr. Alex Tech, that wasn't a link. I didn't like it. Audio levels automatically. Plug in Alex Tech that you set the audio levels automatically had to pay for it, but streamline the process. Oh, you shouldn't pay for something. Watch this. So if you go to Adobe Podcast, if you type in Adobe Podcast, you can go to Mic Check, and you can do this for free. So what you do is you click Start, you hit Allow, it chooses your mic, which for me right now, let's do Microphone FX. I don't know why it won't let me change it, but if I click Test Mic and I talk, how is my microphone setup and placement? So what it'll do is it'll listen and it'll tell you, like, my gain's a little high, what's the background noise, the echo, and then distance to microphone. It'll tell you, like, where you kind of fit when it comes to any of that stuff. And that's actually the microphone on my headset right here. And so it'll tell you, like, are you too close, are you too far, stuff like this. This is all free, and I love this because they just include it. So every audio that comes through here, I'm now just going to take the opportunity to hit Alt. We're going to make these little buttons. We're just going to lower them down. I think 6.4 is what I did before.
the Ambassador Bridge is currently the busiest international crossing between.
Easy. Same thing here at the very end. And since this is the end of the video, I'll just do negative 6.4.
My phone number is on the screen, or you can scan the QR code. Please.
Easy. Now we got to do the intro. Same thing, dot, dot. Negative 6.4.
Hey everyone, we will be walking along the main Sandwich Street to check out this wonderful area. Now, let's get after it.
Easy, right? So now, if I go back to edit, all this is done. All this is baked in. So when I go to the export panel, as you can see all of these jobs that I've rendered for this project. We're going to title this one Historic Sandwich Street. And I have special folder system that I always do. So I have the main folder, I have a renders folder, and then where I dump things in, right? So I always do V1, V2, V3, V4, not draft 1, draft 2. I do versions. Clients don't care if it's a draft or a final. Also, if you send final, they feel like it's a done deal, and especially if you offer revisions, that's a big no-no. So I always do version 1, 2, 3, 4. Even if it's a small change, I don't do 1.1 or 1.2. And I've had things versions 21, 22 before, which is fine. So what I'll do is I'll click Save. All of this rendering, I do MP4, my NVIDIA card, we're in 4K 24. I do restrict the bitrate down to 30K because it's not moving too much. Otherwise, these would be like 50 gigabyte renders. So I click Add to Render Queue, and I let that sit there. Didn't render, but when I'm done, I can click it and hit Render. And because it's all in the same project, I can render every single video I work on tonight will all render at one time. My problem is if I hit render right now, I think it's going to crash my stream. So I'm going to finish stream before I try to do a render, because I feel like it's going to do something stupid. By the way, guys, I'm streaming over on Twitch, Kick, and YouTube tonight. That's why I've got these little things right here. I'm trying to get my followers to 75 on Kick so that I can test out some stuff and make some videos on the paid part of, well, not paid, we're a monetized part of Kick. So if you're watching me now, wherever you're watching me, if you can go follow me on Kick, that would be fantastic. Kick.com/DarkandCyrus, just so I can reach that 75. I'm not trying to like ask for followers, but I am, and it's just for content. Please do. I keep hearing Hudson scream. I took several Streambeat songs, made one audio track, so now you can drag and drop and be done. Yeah, exactly. My thing is, it gets repetitive if you use the same track every time. And I'm going to be honest, a lot of my music, videos that I do now, I don't even use background audio because I just don't feel like you have to have it every time. Some people are like, yeah, you need it, but in some ways, music needs to be intentional. If you're trying to transition moments, that's a really good way. If you're trying to set a mood, sure. But for reviews, I'm at that point where unless it's necessary and there's dead space or I'm not talking, I just don't feel like I need to shove it in there just to have music. And I'll be honest, some of my best performing videos over the last few months when I stopped putting in background music didn't have it. So it was completely just raw. And I'm not saying that's because of it. I'm saying that I was able to get good performing videos and not have it. So be that as it may, you can take from that as you wish. But this video is done. I've got a couple more. I'm going to go ahead and do at least one more. To kind of knock out. So I think we might do, I think Detroit I don't have everything for. Little Italy and Riverside driving I might have some for. But I think I'm just going to go ahead. I think I'll just send him this one because I want to show you my Premiere workflow and go ahead and get that one started tonight. So yeah, so I think I'm just going to go ahead and let this one sit and we'll render this one in a moment because I want to get this one to him because this is actually Monday's upload. So I want to get that one done. I've got 3 other ones to complete and then invoice him for the videos. Oh, and that's another thing. Some people ask, like, how do you do invoicing and stuff like that? So what I've realized is I've taken the time to... I've been burned before. So I always ask in 2 ways. You're paying either ahead for services, or you're paying a deposit in the piece, or you're going to go ahead and pay prior to publish so that my content's not being used. There's a draft piece, whatever the case. But I've been burned before where I will send the final product and then I never hear from them again. So I'm really careful about that. So even for brands, if there's a sponsored brand video, like I'm sponsored, I have 2 sponsored videos coming up soon for a new piece of software. I gave them my price and I told them, like, I need half of it up front before I even record or research. You got to send me half. And they're like, we don't normally do that. And I said, well, I can't work with you. And it's not because I'm not going to produce good content. You obviously know what content I produce. I don't have to prove that to you. You have my whole portfolio. And so I was like, if you want to work with me, this is how it's got to be. And they were like, yeah, sure. Haley. What's up, Haley Sucks? Is it Sucks? Sucks. What's up, Haley? Hi. How's it going, Haley? But yeah, when it comes to like client stuff, always ask for at least half up front. Sucks like sucks. LMFAO. How's it going? Welcome to chat. How you doing? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing all right. We're actually editing in Premiere. I just finished up a video for a client. We dropped it over into the deliver panel, but I'll render it later. It's good. Sorry, it's been a minute since I've been here. Yeah, it has been a minute. How's life? How are things? How's it going? How are things doing? We're multi-streaming tonight on YouTube, Twitch, and Kick. YouTube, the Twitch, Twitch and Kick. Life is hectic, but doing all right. I love that. So what are the things that you're up to right now? But yeah, so this is done. So I'm actually going to go ahead. Because it's cloud save. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to close that. I've never used Premiere where you're about to see it. All right, so I got to open Premiere. I got to go ahead and pull. I think I've already pulled these files, trying to expand my editing horizons and find a great program for my videos and TikTok videos. Well, man, aren't you just in luck? So last night, please ask questions, by the way. Was it last night? Let's go over here. Switch account. I know, I'm glad I stopped by. Yeah, please ask. I just released a video here. This one right here. 6 free editing programs for viral Twitch clips. I should probably do free TikTok / YouTube Shorts. I think I'm going to do that and change it. Anyway, so this one shows literally it's 6 free programs to go ahead and make TikToks. Completely free. And DaVinci is one of them. Don't focus on the fact that I'm like literally deep throating a microphone or anything, but it's whatever. I currently use CapCut free. I know it's a good start, but I want something that's not too pricey but better quality. Yeah, CapCut's nice. One thing that people don't actually know, they always edit on CapCut on their phone. CapCut has a whole video editor, a real video editor online. Like, drag your clips and look. Like, being able to, like a real timeline, audio editor, everything. In CapCut online, for free. Like, you have to pay. Everything here. People don't pay attention to that. But anyway, yeah, so this video is pretty good. There's 6 options. Twitch just added native. I don't know if you know this. If you're streaming on Twitch, you can just go to clips. I'm stuck. Anyway, so here's a clip. If I go to edit and share clip, you can actually take this. I'm stuck. You can adjust all this. You can adjust and make all of your clips. Let me out of here. You can make your clips from here when you click next. You can share it to YouTube Shorts, straight to TikTok, or even download it. Yeah, so everything is done now. This is just directly in Twitch that you can use. Not even a problem. This is just done. So like I just made a clip from a TikTok from a clip, and because I have all my stuff done, I can literally just click share to TikTok, and it's on TikTok. It takes no time, like at all, to be able to do this. They're not. It's not on the mobile app yet. It's only on the browser. But we were just at TwitchCon, and that was a big question that we all asked: can you put this on mobile? And the answer is yes. It's just not there yet. I do straight multiple timelines to make shorts from my main timeline. Yeah, it's the same thing. I do a new one, drop it in, cut it, 100%. I think I've already downloaded everything for this one. He sent me a straight up video. Okay, so he sent me, recorded 2 solo podcasts today, so that was earlier this week. So he did solos. So these are interesting. This isn't my normal flow, so I'm going to go ahead and download these. We're going to go ahead and go to clients, foreclosure. We're going to make new ones, folder. I think he named these as well, so we're going to name this folder. I always have a unique naming system, 2023 dot, and it's the date I start the project. And then the name. Determining property value. So what I'll do is click in here. We're going to save as PowerPoint. And then same thing, download here. New, and this just makes it where I can always filter by date if I do it this way. So I do 2023.10.27 is today. top reasons why you are in foreclosure. Download drop. Why are you dropping multi-stream? When you're dropping multi-stream for free video, that is going to be probably... My goal was to get it out this week, but I have like... Let me just tell you. I have... let me tell you. Oh my God. I've got 3 videos from TwitchCon already recorded, done, and have to be just uploaded. I'm not even going to really edit them. I'm just uploading them raw. 3 videos from TwitchCon. I've got a new microphone that I have to review from a company that I cannot name. I have to review and do a video for to drop on the day that it releases. I have that video, the free video on like how to be able to do multi-streaming. That one. I have that video to be able to complete and do and review. I have 2 videos to do on a brand new streaming software that I need to capitalize on that I just haven't had the time to be able to sit down and record. Those are going to come out early next week. I have another audio mixer review to be able to do. I have another tutorial for OBS to be able to update on a plugin. All of those are videos that I just got within the last 2 weeks. So when I was telling you the other week, like, that's cool that you plan out your content, right? Yeah, I can't. I can't do that. I need multiple of me is what I need. I need multiple of me. And I would just pay my editor to edit all of that. But editors cost. And in some ways, some of these videos aren't paid videos. Some of them are free. So I'm just going to edit them myself. So it's just a time thing. Yeah, so I hope that makes sense. I've got 8 videos to release in the next 2 weeks. 9 videos to release in the next 2 weeks. On top of that, I've got 2 videos already done, which is actually our podcast Pew cut up into small little segments, which are going to be done as well. So it's it's been a crazy time. Haley, I hope you're doing all right. So yeah, so this one. I'm gonna do audio and video. So same thing. All I'm doing right now is just grabbing some files. 4 top to. What's happening?
I think Joshua just wanted to say hey. He didn't know if he could interrupt you.
Oh yeah, Joshua, you can interrupt me. Oh, I'm on stream. Oh, I'm on green screen right now. Are you showing me your sausage? Is that what you're doing? Are you showing me your sausage?
Daddy, would you like some sausage?
Daddy, would you like some sausage? Is that what we're doing right now? You're showing me your sausage?
Let's talk about buttered sausage, what it is.
Oh. Oh. That's kind of creepy. I just need to tell you. Get to work, job security. Yeah, so I mean, it's one of those things that even amongst all of that, I still have like life and family and things to be able to accomplish. So, yeah, so I've got yeah, that's my brother. He just walked in and he was doing something. So I stayed on green screen and he's like half naked running around. So we're gonna let that. We're gonna let that be what it is. Okay, so what we're doing right now is I just pulled down. This is DJ Alojo. He's a client that I work with out of Atlanta, Georgia. He's a mortgage person, but he actually specializes in foreclosure. And his specialty when it comes to content is he just started a podcast, and so I'm helping him grow his podcast by doing all of his video editing. I'm posting up verticals on his socials almost on a daily basis, and just kind of keeping things grinding for him. And it's been a great experience because he's really easy to work with. He listens, and I love him. DJ is a pretty awesome guy. So I would say go check his content out. and then only subscribe or anything unless you actually like enjoy or know his stuff. Sausage party? Yeah, it's totally a sausage party. Sausage. You want to play with my sausage? Brother. All right, so we're also going to be doing PPTX to JPEG slides which is kind of ridiculous that this has to happen, but when he sends me a PPTX, which is just his PowerPoint slides, I actually don't have PowerPoint, and I don't plan on getting it. So what I'm doing is actually taking his stuff, and I'm just using a converter online. It doesn't matter, quality doesn't matter too much. So what I'm doing is just converting all of these to JPEGs, and then it'll give me all the downloads to be able to use all of his stuff. This isn't normally what we do. Here, I'll show you what we normally do. Like here's the last podcast that we just did in Premiere, which is so nice. I'll show you something really cool with it that makes this editing pretty easy. So here's the podcast. You can see all of the cuts, the audio pieces here to be able to go in between, and then there's actually like a combined of him in the middle. And it's over 30 minutes. Sometimes they're like 50 minutes long. Problem is, or the benefit is, I pay for a plugin to make this easy. So what I'm going to do is actually open up. Yeah, so here we go. So here's the original piece. Okay, so right here is the original. What you have on bottom. Here's the full video of her. Here's the full video of him. And then I have something that DaVinci has, but it's called something, I think it's called a compound clip. In Premiere, it's called a nested clip. And so a nested scene is when you go in, it's the same thing. It's just 2 video files that I have nested into this. But what I pay for is something called Autopod. Let me make sure I'm on the right scene. I'm not on caption and graphics. So let's go back to editing. Should spread my timeline across the bottom. Yeah. So what I'm going to do is under Autopod, there's the jump cut editor and then the multicam editor. So as you can see right here, I'm going to show you something really cool. You can see this right here. This timeline is just not even adjusted. Autopod jump cut editor. I'm going to zoom out so you can see this. I'm going to click create jump cuts. And what it's going to do is the AI is going to watch through this entire clip, and it's going to find dead space. As you can see right here, it's starting to find dead space, and it cuts the dead space, and then it shrinks the video file. That's number 1. Okay, so it's going to go ahead and go find all of the, like, anytime they have any kind of pause, it's just going to cut the pauses. It's not going to remove the ums, but it's going to cut the pauses. I can remove the ums easier than trying to make all of these jump cuts, right? So what I'm doing is allowing it to do this kind of rendering piece right now to be able to accomplish this. And Autopod is only for Premiere. I don't think they have a DaVinci piece yet. So what I'm going to do is, once this one's done, we're going to use the other part of Autopod, and we're actually going to make it select all the video tracks, and then it's going to base it upon what's happening in the audio track. It's going to listen to the audio track and say, this audio track has sound, and because I've tied an audio track to a video track, it will cut all of the video and then adjust it to where only the person on screen is the person talking. Or I'm going to make it have it where it's got a combined piece. It'll intermittently throw in there kind of them being combined on the same scene, so that you can kind of have that that piece, that ability to be able to see all of that. I think I'm way too big down here in the corner, so I'll adjust that. Anyway, so right now it's kind of trimming it. It was a 36-minute recording. We're down to 33 minutes with all the dead space. It says Autopod jump cut editor is done. If I zoom in, you can see all of this dead space is gone. You can tune all of this stuff. Now I'm going to go to multicam editor. I'm going to zoom back out, and I'm going to name all of this stuff. Camera, there's 3 cameras, 2 speakers. Audio 1 is the person on the left. Audio on the person on the left. On right is DJ. Video 1 is Chi, video 2 is DJ, and then video 3 is all speakers. That's talking about what's here. When I click Create Multicam Edit, you're going to see it do all of the work for me. And you're going to watch this kind of just go and trim all of these video files for me. And so this is a paid plugin, but I tested it. I did the edit without the plugin, and I did the edit with the plugin. Without the plugin, one of these podcasts takes me about 5 hours to edit to do all of this. With the plugin, I'm down to about an hour and a half. So per video, if I'm saving 3 hours, 4 hours sometimes, heck yeah, I'm going to pay for the plugin. And it's not perfect, and I have to make some adjustments. I don't trust it like 100%. But now when it's here, when she's talking, and then when he's talking, when she's talking, it switches back. And I didn't have to do that, but I had to set it up right. And so this is where the nesting the A-frames and the B-frames and all that stuff in different timelines and sequences really saves it, because like in this one specifically, I had to actually go back and change the AI audio and do an AI thing, because this is just like basically like Zoom, and her audio cuts out. So I threw it in the AI thing to fill out the rest of the word, so it felt natural. So that's kind of how it worked out to be able to be done. But this really speeds up this editing process, and I can get into final touches, adjusting any of these transitions that are here, removing any of the times where ums happen, or anything like right here he's talking, but then there's these sound dips that pop up
the communicate
that I have to be able to cut. So this was that process. But on these new ones that I'm about to do, because he's doing an actual solo piece, it's kind of the same thing, but I'm going to be doing it in a little bit different manner. So what I'm doing is I'm downloading all of these. These are the video files, but we're going to do this one in Premiere. We've got to do it as a new project. So every time I do a Premiere one, I do a new project, because DaVinci treats things differently than Premiere. So what I'm going to do is we're going to do determining property value first. We're going to select folder. That's selected. We're going to do property value. We're not going to select any media. We're going to click create. We're going to go ahead and create that. We're going to close all of these timelines because I don't need them. But what I do want to do is I'm actually going to grab an old project of what I've done for him. I'll just grab cheese, drag it in and drop. We're going to click OK, and I'm going to let it import everything from the previous projects so that it's here. And this is different from DaVinci because you can drag a project, but it doesn't drag the assets. In this case, for Premiere, if I drag the old file project, I get all of my assets. So here's the renders, all of the shorts, all of the assets that I've used in the past are all here. It's like all done for me. I don't have to go in here and mess with a whole bunch of crap. I can kind of just sift through here and grab all of my asset pieces. So anything that's going to be stuff that's pre-rendered for assets, it's already dropped in here, and I can always grab it from whenever I want without having to go back and try to find it later. So like here's when I'm trying to find the buried asset folder in all of this, because there is one somewhere deep inside this that I can be able to use. MP3. None of these. Win. I think it's the Win folder that's got them all in it. Here you go. Bin 1. Aaron, Rob. All right, so there's the assets folder. So we're just going to grab this. We're going to copy this just so I don't have to find it later and dump it right there. So there's the assets folder. This is where I've got like the intro, and it's very similar to a to the way that DaVinci works, and the fact that you can kind of still scrub and kind of find everything. It's still the same kind of concept. Nothing over the top when it comes to this. I don't know where my timeline went. Can my timeline come back? Hello, timeline? Window. Timeline? Thank you. I don't know why the timeline disappeared, but okay. But anyway, it's very much the exact same way, and I have all of these keys mapped to my mouse. So it doesn't matter what application I'm in, cut, select, play, zoom timeline, in and out, all of it's mapped to my mouse. However, they are different hotkeys in the program. I use Logitech software to be able to kind of connect everything. I hope that makes sense. I kind of am just glossing through this. Is that making any sense, guys? And by the way, for the best quality, I think YouTube Live right now .com/@DarkNCyrusGaming is rocking 1440p right now with the AV1 encoder. So I'm doing AV1 over there, 1080p on Twitch, and 720p on Kick to be able to kind of keep everything flowing and matching the qualities that I want to be able to make it. Every platform is kind of sitting at those pieces, so kind of recommended. It's neat, bro. Anyway, so all this is downloaded. He sent me the Dropbox file, which is his backup audio, just in case I need it. So what we're going to do is we're going to grab all of his assets and bring them in. So this one is nude. Nice. Determining property value. Oh! Where'd it go? We're going to grab this folder, 7-zip, extract. Alright, so here is all of those files. These are his slides. But we got to also get his video. And because he records in StreamYard, and then I basically download it, he records in 720p. So in here, the one big difference in Premiere is you're able to adjust anything with a sequence later. So I'm going to go ahead and new item sequence, and we're going to make this a 1080p sequence. So 1080p, he runs 30 frames. It's not an RE Cinema. I'm just going to drop the podcast in here, and I'm going to adjust it. So the sequence that it was created, he's recording at 720p, 30 frames per second. We're going to go ahead and adjust this to 1080p. And he's obviously going to uncrop. So what I'm going to do is actually grab his stuff. And we're going to go to Effect Controls, which is like the inspector window. And I'm going to go ahead and 150% him, which fills him into the frame. There's him. But I'm actually going to use this as a timeline that's nested so that I can make these adjustments later. So we're going to go ahead and rename this one. And we're going to call this ACAM timeline to keep it separate. So there's the timeline specifically for this. Just in case I need to change out this audio.
Whatever realtors tell you, fool you. At the end of the day, it always comes down to what someone is willing to pay for it. But real estate agents and brokers pay for it. And you have to keep that in mind. You are looking at the value of a property, because again, the value of a property is what someone is willing to pay for it. And you have to keep that in mind. And so don't let the...
So do you hear the popping?
For it. And you have to keep that in mind. And so don't let the algorithms fool you. Don't let whatever realtors tell you fool you.
So there's popping in here, which is specifically why I asked him to do background audio or backup audio, because he has a problem sometimes with his microphone, but it's not every time with his microphone, where it just happens. Sometimes his mic pops, and I think it's a StreamYard issue, if I'm being 100% honest. So what he does is he sends me the actual Audacity file. For determining value. So he sends me the Audacity file, which is the program we use. So I'm going to open it up in here. We're going to see he's already done. Oh no. Oh, here's
Maybe
his
would have
audio.
been able to accept their counteroffer. But now that it's been a year and a half, now that they've spent over $10,000 in legal costs, now that they have spent
So he records his laptop microphone.
with you, please do us a favor. Like, subscribe. Far cry from where they were who are in need in a desperate time when they're facing foreclosure. That being said, I do apologize in advance today if my voice sounds a little bit raspy.
It's still popping. So I think what I'm gonna do is this happens from time to time with this stuff. So for me to save it, I need to take his file, right? So I'm actually going to take it, and this is a trick. If you didn't know, you can actually take this, and we're going to copy, paste, make a copy of it, right? The very end, if you have an MP4 file, if you type MP3 and you click yes, it'll automatically convert that to an MP3.
Real estate to make money.
Okay, even though there's a video attached, everything's going to treat it as an MP3. So now what I can do is go to Adobe Podcast. I'm going to drop this in here and get this to enhance. So we're going to choose File, Clients, Foreclosure, Determining Property. Now it's treating it as an MP3 file, and then I can upload it to here because it won't take video files. So we'll upload it. We're going to let it enhance. We're going to see if it will delete any of that like boo-boo, any of that boo-boo audio. See if it will go ahead and delete any of that to kind of free up the opportunity to do what it needs to do. But I can kind of edit without it right now. It's going to take a little bit. But the benefit of me putting it in a nested scene like this is because now I can go back, change out that audio, but in the main system, I can still be able to edit. So what I'm going to do is we're going to go ahead and, is that free? So Adobe Podcast is amazing. And for right now, it is free. You just get slower access if you don't pay for it. So let me do sign out. So what you have right here, you sign up for a free account and you get access to it. That's the only thing is you have to have a premium account. So what you can do is you can get a 30-day trial, but you have Express Premium is where you get all of this other stuff. So bulk upload, you can adjust the strength. If you don't have premium, you can't adjust like how strong it makes the adjustments, basically. Anyway, so, but I use this religiously because sometimes audio just happens. And so I pay for it because like I can't protect or like predict what a client has. Yeah, I appreciate it. So I can't predict what a client has when it comes to their quality. And he has a nice mic. He has a Samsung Q2U, but he records through StreamYard. Even though he has a Sony ZV-E10, this exact same camera, he does it that way because it's easier for him. He doesn't want to have to worry about downloading the file and uploading the file. And because he does podcasts with clients all over the world, he does them virtually. So, because he does them virtually, that's kind of what how that works out. So what we'll do is we'll see how this goes. It says 22 minutes. We're going to see how well it goes. Hopefully he's going to clap first. That's one thing we've talked about is clapping. Yeah, hear the clap. So the first thing he does when he records is clap. That's something we talked about. So we're going to put it on 90% strength. We're going to leave it. And we're going to go download. One thing I've always worked on my clients with is before they do an audio recording that has video is to please clap. Please, 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 please clap. So that we can line up audio in post. So much easier. It makes my job easier. And if my job's easier, they get content back faster. So we're going to click download. We're going to wait for this to download. And I probably just need to go ahead and make a new sequence. We're just going to call this one custom. We're going to do 1080p and change it over here. We're going to go back to 30 frames. Click OK. It's a sequence 2. I'm going to rename it. Name this one main. So that one's here. We're going to take that ACAM timeline sequence and drag it onto here. And as you can see, it's green. That's called a nested timeline. So that means I can actually go back and adjust anything that's here. We're going to see what happens. Okay, it's ready to download. Determine your property value, save, download it as a wave. And I go back into here, into the other timeline, unlink, grab this audio. We're not going to delete it yet because I want to make sure they line up. And as you can see right here, there's the clap. And the reason that clap is there, you can even see the audio is off from his clap. There's the clap. There's the clap. So even the audio is off just in his original recording.
Clojure Fix family, and
it just makes everything so much easier because I can go frame by frame and make sure it lines up. So now I'm going to go in here. I've got the enhanced 90p. That's this one. We're going to drop this in here. Enhanced 90. Oh. This one. Drop this at the front. There's the clap. We're going to increase the size of this so I can kind of see what's happening. All right, so there's the clap that we adjusted. I go 0.1. I have an issue where it's not going to perfectly line up, so technically that one would be right. So we're going to mute this.
Clojure Fix family, and welcome to another episode.
Looks good to me. So I've left the original audio here but muted it, right? But on the main timeline,
Us a favor. Like,
it's been adjusted so I can switch them out.
subscribe, and share.
There's the original audio. And then here's the main audio.
the YouTube page, our social media.
That's why I do nested stuff, because of that reason right there. I can go back and adjust anything in the future without having to make adjustments. It just makes things easier. And this Adobe Enhance piece right here, if you have a Creative Cloud license with Premiere, you can actually do the Premiere Beta. This is baked into the Premiere software now because it's all Adobe. So you can actually do this without having to go back and forth. You can just turn this on for your audio file inside Premiere, but it's in the beta format and won't be in the full format until they do the final release, which will probably be here in a couple months. So anyway, that's his timeline. Here's the main piece. So all I've got to do is kind of trim up all the front.
Hey, Clojure Fix, where our goal is to help those who...
Easy. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and trim off the front part of his video. We're going to go to Assets, grab his intro, which another company created for him a while back. So it has too much audio sound. So what I do is I have all of this connected here. Audio 2, I'm going to pull down 8. Oh man, these earbuds have some bass. Okay. So I'm going to grab his ACAM timeline. There's a part in this where I always start his audio.
Hey.
Right there.
Hey, Clojure Fix.
It's right after that first initial hit.
Hey, Clojure Fix family.
Right there. That's too deep, is it?
Hey, Clojure Fix family.
That's it. Okay, so what I'll do is now take this, unlink, and we're going to pull this down. On Premiere, it's the P key to create the dots. And drag that dot all the way down. We're going to do some of these little scoops. We're just doing this so that the audio dips quickly after he starts talking.
Hey, Foreclosure Fix family.
Yeah, it's a little too drastic, so we'll go ahead and bump it back just a little bit.
Hey, Foreclosure Fix family, and welcome to another.
Cool. And then he's here. We're gonna have to bump him. I think it's about 4 usually.
Hey, Foreclosure Fix family, and welcome to another episode of the Foreclosure.
Now we're actually gonna bump him up a little bit more. We'll have to EQ this.
Hey, Foreclosure Fix family, and welcome to
We're gonna go ahead and add our limiter. So compression limiter, hard limiter. We're gonna go to a -6 so that we don't pass that -6 range
Another
for the final bus.
Hey, Foreclosure Fix family, and welcome to another episode of the Foreclosure Fix podcast. Where
All right, and then that audio kind of comes off a little too early.
our goal is to help 1 million homeowners
Oh, hi.
successfully
What's up,
navigate
Lone?
foreclosure. Now, if this mission resonates with
How's
you,
it going, brother? Brother. All right, so what we're going to do is go right here. We can right-click, apply default transition. Pull this down, and I think we'll probably run it to about right here.
hey, Foreclosure Fix family, and welcome to another episode of the Foreclosure Fix family, and welcome to another episode of the Foreclosure Fix podcast, where our goal is to help 1 million homeowners successfully navigate foreclosure. Now, if this mission resonates with you, please do us a favor.
Easy. So what we're going to do is now I need to find an old video where all of the assets are baked in. We use bills right here. We're just going to take this main. Cool. Easy. We're going to copy all of these, go back to our original timeline, and they don't bake in really easy. You have to go to the end and then move them. They don't paste well. So here's DJ's. What we've worked on is his
Episode of the Foreclosure
Lower
Fix
third.
podcast, where our goal is to help 1 million homeowners successfully navigate foreclosure. Now, if this mission resonates with you, please do us a favor. Like, subscribe,
I try to line up the word subscribe, not
subscribe,
much. I played a little bit last night
subscribe, and share.
on a personal, whatever.
Like, subscribe.
Hold on 1 second. In his underwear? You need help? Hudson Pete everywhere. Hudson Pete everywhere. All right, we might actually have to end stream here just so I can go take care of that. Yeah, I think we're going to end stream here. He peed everywhere, all on the floor and everything. Yeah, we're going to end stream here, guys, so I can go take care of that. Oh, man. All right, love you guys. I hate that you just joined stream alone, but we're going to end stream here. Guys, we'll be back in, well, we'll probably be back tomorrow. Love you guys. Thank you so much. I'm going to go take care of the little one, and we'll go on from there.